With a busy holiday travel weekend right ahead of us, we have Lieutenant John Altman from the Ohio Highway Patrol with us tonight, and there are going to be a ton of people hitting the roads, especially tomorrow as we get into Christmas Eve and into Christmas Day. When you're out on the roads and you're doing patrols, what is the #1 thing you think drivers need to watch out for so they remain safe?
You know, I think probably not just one, maybe two major things this weekend. One is don't drive distracted. Be aware of what's going on, you know, be mindful of your cell phone usage, things like that. And then #2, please make good decisions, you know, and don't be out driving impaired this weekend. There's going to be a lot of family parties, a lot of holiday get-togethers, and we want people to make good decisions and not be out there driving impaired.
Especially when it comes to impaired. I mean, I think some people sometimes feel like, well, I just had a couple. And I'm sure from your experience, a couple can still be a dangerous situation.
Again, so many people think you have to be fall down intoxicated or impaired to be under the influence. It's not that case. You're exactly right. You know, a couple of drinks here can be enough to impair somebody, just enough that, you know, they wouldn't make that left-hand turn and all of a sudden they do, and then a tragic incident happens.
Yeah, and distracted driving, I think, is something that people are now, it's become a part of the vernacular anymore.
Right.
And there was even that new recommendation about completely getting rid of cell phones, and that might be a long way down the line. But from your experiences as well, distracted driving, is that as bad as drinking and driving? I mean, what do you see?
It can be. I mean, there's been recorded instances where a trooper or a police officer comes in contact with somebody because somebody's called in and reported somebody for weaving, and you make a traffic stop and you find out somebody's up there on their cell phone, or they're putting makeup on, or they're doing other things other than, you know, being plugged into what they're doing.
Yeah, tailgating seems to be a big issue. When I see on the roads, I mean, sometimes I feel like a guy can, you know, tap my bumper just along here. What are your recommendations on how much space I really want to leave, especially if we have bad weather?
Sure, falling too close, you know, one recommendation they always say is 1 car length for every 10 miles an hour. Now, I think if we go just about anywhere, nobody's traveling at those distances. But give yourself some time to be able to react. The 2-second rule is another good one. If you pass a stationary object, basically what should happen is the vehicle in front of you, the bumper should pass a telephone pole. You count 1001, 1002, and if the front of your car is past that same stationary object, you're too close. You know, you need to back off.
Okay. Patrol-wise, I'm assuming you're going to have a lot out this weekend.
We'll have increased patrols. Again, they're going to be looking for those OVI offenders. We're also reminding people, you know, put your seatbelt on. It's the #1 thing you can do to reduce injury and save your lives. Simple thing, just reach over and click it. So, but we'll have increased patrols looking for both of those violations this weekend.
The seatbelt just seems like such an elementary thing. If you get somebody that doesn't put on their seatbelt, what do they tell you why they didn't do it?
You know, you run the gamut. Some people feel it's an intrusion into their own car, that they should be allowed to do what they want to do. You get some people say, oh, I'm just busy, I forgot. You know, and we just try and remind them, look, like I said, it's the single most thing that can save your life.
All right, well, a lot of good advice out there, and I'm sure speed is something you want to watch out for as well. It's a little higher on places like the Turnpike, but it's still not a NASCAR track.
Again, if we start talking adverse weather, you know, if we start getting some snow, things like that, speed for conditions is a major problem. You know, people will say, well, I was only doing 35 and this is a 45-mile-an-hour road. Well, obviously, if you ran off the road and hit something, you were traveling too fast for the condition. So if you start seeing that ice, you start seeing that snow, slow yourself down, give yourself plenty of time to make sure you have time to stop, you have time to go, you have time to turn, all those things that when you start to have adverse weather, it really changes.
All right, Lieutenant, thank you very much for your time. Hopefully you're not too busy this weekend.
Let's hope not. Let's hope not.
Thank you very much. And that's your Talk Back.